this is a little bit of a different topic that I normally talk about, but the title of this video is for real. So I started picking up Source 2 Filmmaker, and the way to do that is you get Half-Life Alyx, open up its workshop tool, and then you get access to all the new Source 2 stuff, like Source Hammer. You get Source 2 Filmmaker. Really good engine, by the way, but it has no workshop support, so you have to do a lot of manual bullshit like GCFscape and unpackaging every VDK file you get from the Steam Workshop that gets downloaded into a workshop file that's completely separate from your actual thing. But I'm going off on a massive tangent here as compared to what I really am talking about today. Is don't get me wrong, I really like Source 2. Animating with Source 2 as I've begun practicing with it and starting to learn it is really cool. And I was pretty decent with Source 1, but I'm learning all the new stuff with Source 2 and how it works a little bit. It's very, very similar, but also very, very not similar. It's so much better, it makes things harder in a very strange way. Just having to relearn like the funny nuances of how things work with Source now. And one major thing in particular that I'm very, very much struggling on is I kind of figured out a way to do mocap animation with Source 1. But I kind of fucking lost all that when I did the change, and I haven't animated with Source 1 for a minute. I had figured out a program that I could purchase that uses Xbox Kinect cameras to bind movement to fucking models and shit, but it was a very, 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 very clunky way of going about it. And the only person on the planet right now that I feel that has Source 2 down to a fucking T is TheRussianBadger. And I'm so serious about this. Like, I want to know either one, what he's doing himself to fucking use Source 2 with mocap the way he does. I know he has that multi-$1,000 suit, but there's also very much ways to do mocap cheaper. He just has a very high fidelity way to do mocap animation. In my case, I'd be using an Xbox 360 Kinect, but it still works. And that's one thing I also want to let people know. Mocap animation doesn't need to be expensive. You just need to be smart to make up for the expenses. Yeah. So it's like, look, by the straight chance, this is seen by you, by Senor TheRussianBadger. I'm begging you, fucking make a playlist of like videos on YouTube, or fucking like just some sort of fucking compiled bullshit of how you did the shit you do, because I've wanted to do SFM animations for cinematics, and I'm working on one currently that involves my car and a couple other things. Like I'm starting to understand the scheme of it all, and I really appreciate how easy it is to rip other models into fucking SFM or S2FM very easily. But the hardest part for me is not the animation necessarily, the avatars. I like doing what's called two-step animation, similar to the fucking Miles Morales Spider-Man style of animation, that it's like every other frame or every other 2 frames it's movement. So you get a bit of a choppy look, but it's a very nice, pleasant look if you animate it properly, because it needs you to kind of be overexpressive with your animations. So I have my characters, I don't have anything done yet. All of it's been test stuff that I've tried and haven't saved like an idiot, but it's very overly expressive stuff to kind of accentuate, hey, half step means you kind of need to show off a bit more, but you get away with all the fluid motions that usually come with every single frame. So it's a little bit of a cheat, but I really like it because the style, it's pretty nice to work with. But I've thought, hey, what if I did half step or like quarter step or whatever the fuck it's called with mocap, so I can still be overly expressive and still get and more so, I want to say almost more personified and more overly expressive as a regular human, rather than me doing some wacky stuff. Because don't get me wrong, I really like the overly wacky stuff you could do with animation with Source 2 in like quarter or half step, but I would like to like nimble my way through fucking, like trying with mocap. And also, how the fuck do you do? I don't have physics. I don't know if I just use the old SysFilms fucking like physics file shit that you upload to Source Filmmaker, but I don't know how to do physics. I have avatars, I have models, like I have a Helldivers model that's super popular by like Kodarek or some shit like that. Really super popular model maker for S2FM, but I don't have like the cape is physics, but the rest of it isn't. And I don't understand, what am I missing? I don't know if I'm like, I've looked up for it and everybody's showing source 1 and I'm like, fuck. And I understand people are still just getting integrated into source 2, even though it's been out for a little bit and people have been dabbling with it for a while. And I'm so serious when I say this. I get the title might be a little bit clickbaity and all that, but I'm so serious. The only person I've seen very much publicly work with source 2 and 1 very, very well, as compared to a handful of other people that I've seen, has been Badger. Because the shit he does with it is amazing. And it pisses me off because I'm like, yo, this motherfucker and he's just like, I just use source. We all know that. How the fuck are you doing half the shit you do? Like when I put it in perspective, okay, it's kind of understandable. What I'm imagining what it is mocap. It's a mocap application, records all that, binds that or makes that an animation sequence, and then you can put that on whatever model. That's the pretty easy part. See, my thing is, okay, I kind of figured it out for source 1 how to do it a little bit, and it was a little very wonky. It was very wonky in the very few samples I even tried to get. What I pretty much did was just, I used not necessarily mocap, but what I did is that I made movements in Blender and made them in like I forget what the fuck I did, but I pretty much made them animation files that you can bind to a model, like I just said, but not necessarily mocap. I know the process is a little bit similar, and I know there's programs you need to jump between back and forth, but yo, I'm so serious. Russian Badger, if you happen to see this video, or anybody who does source 2 stuff who happens to see this video, please, I beg of you, put something together for me and everybody out there who are trying to learn this for the sake of animation, and very fun animation too. And before anybody who comes to like, well, Blender, you could do this with Blender. I don't give a shit, man. I genuinely don't give a shit about Blender. I appreciate it because it helps me get around the FBX to MDL, like speed bump you get when trying to rip files. But I'm sorry. Besides that, Blender is fuck all to me. Like, unless there's something I'm missing, that Blender has so much fucking value that I'm being just stupid, I'm sorry then. But right now, I really don't care for Blender because I've learned and put so much time into Source. I'd rather stick with Source because it is what I need. It's animating. I don't want just like a 3D modeling program, and I know it can do all that. I know technically what Blender is, it's just a multi-purpose program for all that stuff. I need just Source. That's all I need. I'm a simple man. So yeah. If you want to help a guy out, please, for the love of God, some sort of playlist or like notepad of videos and notes. I swear to God, I will attend. Yo, Russian Badger, dropping $1,000 masterclass. I'll attend that bitch if it means I fucking figure out how to do like a fifth of all the shit you do, man. And also, to everybody out there who animates with Source or Source 2 or anything like that, God bless your soul, because I am down in the trenches with you. It's very fun learning Source 2 because it runs so much better than Source Filmmaker. But it's like, it's just so fun. You know, it's like I can taste it. My tongue is just licking the bottom of the taint, beginning to understand what I'm getting into. And it's really cool because I'm like, yo, I would love to get in deeper to this, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not the greatest when it comes to just picking up programs to learn. So I really do follow, like, once I can get down a set of information, once I could do one set of information, like immediately, like just one time, I lock it in, but I need to find that information. I'm not the kind of person that could just go like, oh, this makes sense. So this is this and that is that and this is this. Like, who could just look at it and be like, this makes sense. Like, I kind of can, but that's only after I've done it once. Because once I do it once, my brain is like, oh, so it's this kind of deal, right? And if that makes sense, that makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just, I need fucking help with this shit. And I really would like to start putting out content on this channel and maybe even other channels that I'm on, with SFM created content that utilizes a lot of cool shit. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching this, and please leave anything in the comments that could help me with all this. Source 2 has been a pain in my ass, but I'm loving every second of it. Thank you guys for watching. Deuces.